Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a major, dude. It's a good question. Now that you're putting it in like those terms, like a month, it's not a long time to take care of all the logistics, and especially with COVID and like hosting an event. I guess you'd want
But the
months.
Chinese team should know about it.
Yeah,
Teams like us, that have a Jordanian 16-year-old need to know about it.
yeah.
And we haven't heard anything. Welcome to the second episode of OG Monkey Business Show. Welcome, Johan. How are you doing today?
Very good, very good. It's been a gorgeous day. And you?
Yeah, dude, it's 24 degrees here in Los Angeles.
It's been hot here.
I went to bed with 6 degrees and shivering.
Oh,
And yeah,
that big of a swing.
look what I brought for you. Look what I brought for you.
How much is that? Is that like half a liter?
This is for people that says that size doesn't matter. They never drink here.
Huh?
I don't know. I just saw it. I was like, I need to get this for Johan.
This is actually for me. Oh wow!
But yeah,
I'll take it. I like big mugs.
well, I mean, I can steal it from but maybe But yeah, dude, I'll bring you one. Super excited to be here. We published already episode 1, and I think it went really well. I think people were not really expecting it, so it came a little bit out of nowhere. But the response is very good. I think about it, like in 10 or 15 weeks from now, every Tuesday, people are gonna wake up and think, "Hey, this podcast is coming out," and we're gonna be part of their lives every Tuesday. So I'm very excited about
that
that.
would be awesome. I hope we can keep it interesting. Hope we can keep some good conversations going. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so today I wanted to start sharing with people about your farming. Because as a position 5, you never really did a lot of farming in Dota, so you've been trying to do your farming outside of Dota. How much would you like to share with us?
It's been going really well. Like I recently had a couple spinach smoothies from the spinach I grew. I grew it next to some bean sprouts. One was called snow beans and the other one was called long beans, I think, and they're both doing really well. So gardening wise, overall, like no big troubles. I probably overplanted a bit of onion in one of the beds. Like it's
Okay.
crazy amount. And there's some landscaping that came by to help today, and the guy like asked if he wanted to pluck some weeds out of the bin, and I think he was talking about the onion because he said it was grass, and I'm like, no, 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 no. He was about to pluck my food, man. So yeah, I have to be defensive around them now. I learned that, but it's going well. It's got carrots going and a whole new bed of spinach, which the spinach has been amazing. So we were comparing it today to store-bought spinach, and then the spinach that I've been growing. The size of it, the size of the veins, the size of the leaves, like the strength and everything, and I would say flavor too. It's 10 out of 10, fun experience. Lots of farming being done.
Amazing. I have to tell you that from Kyle, keep it up with Kyle. He's been clipping the moments that you make any reference that sounds any sexual. So I am sure that he's gonna clip this and send it to me when you're talking about how long the beans are. It's great.
Oh God!
Thank you, Kyle.
Oh,
You're
God.
hearing. Okay, but to
When
tell
is that
people and
coming out?
explain it. Okay, so on the house, you decided. So we have you have the very nice house, then we have a pool, and then you have the volleyball field, and in the middle there's a big empty space, and you have decided that you were gonna get into gardening. And just so you guys know, he continues to watch his videos online about how to make, how do you call this bed where you put the wood on the bottom and then you put the worms and then you put all that.
Like I forget. It's not permaculture. It's called what is it again? Something with H. But it's a type of like longevous garden bin. And what I think is kind of nice is that you never have to bend down as well. That it's kind of more fun to be working upright, standing up. And then you also get to control what's in your bin and what your vegetables are going to be growing out of.
Okay.
And then in the bottom, if you put long time decomposing matter or like material, that's the theory anyway. This will keep sustaining and also be very water draining, or so you can overwater the bin and it'll fall through. And then in the middle, and as you go up, you can put less and less more and more digested type of dirt, and then at the very top you want to have prime dirt for the vegetables that you're going to grow. But then over time, the rest of the bin will climatize, and then you're going to have like a nice, very healthy dirt soil for your plants to grow. You just need to top it off now and again.
So I'm gonna translate to people. What it means is that he made a very big bin, and he puts stuff on the bottom, and then he puts worms on the top, and then he puts sand on the top, and then he plants beans on top. Yep. And he has some worm beans around the house. Yeah. So where he puts like anything that decomposes that the worms eat, and they make it into like, how to call it, like a compound, an organic compound.
Worm poop.
That you can use for the plants.
Yeah.
Worm poop. Okay, that's the technical the technical word, worm poop. So now he has a bunch of beans and a bunch of these things around the house where he's planting things. So in the morning, this is my morning for you guys to enjoy. I come out and I just sit with my laptop and I just watch him do this for a couple of hours. It's fantastic. It feels like get off my lawn, kind of a metaphor, But it's just your 28, which is very funny.
Yeah, no, but it's been a lot of fun. It is very, I don't know, it's very nice to grow something. It's like making food too. It's kind of the effort reward deal, and it feels nice to grow something, and you also start appreciating like the whole process, which is also back to food. It's like you're gonna eat this, you're gonna put in your food. Makes it taste better, makes it all, I don't know, healthy practice, healthy hobby. I feel like it's been good for me. And the weather here is awesome for it. Like almost all year, you're able to grow something. Basically all year, you're able to grow something. It's fun.
This has been a passion of yours for a very long time. This is not something
I wanted to do it for so long.
Yeah, exactly. And you also want to do like the sustainable living and start working with companies that invest and develop other kind of like from materials, from anything that will lead the world into more sustainability and green culture.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I just want to try seeing how it would feel and how it would be to be less, like more hermit and less imposing. I don't know if the world is going to demand this of people also in the future. Laying a big bomb on our next generation, right? How the topic can get pretty sour pretty quick, but yeah, there's a lot of signs, I guess, from the planet that with times changing and more people coming and everything, maybe it's up to people everybody has to at least put an effort, unless we want the system to radically change potentially and stand a chance, I guess, or for the next generation to stand a chance. But yeah, we'll see. I think regardless, it's fun, it's healthy, it's good. I think it makes me feel more complete human-wise, like to know where food comes from, and like being part of that process, because I never really did it, I never really did it growing up. Like, sure, grew a little bit of greens in the kitchen window, but yeah, I had cactuses die on me and whatever. that's
it's really hard to kill a cactus, eh?
Very hard,
yeah. I think that I remember when you first shared with me the dream of the sunflower house. It was this, because I know a lot of the esports companies, they end up going to these ultra modern facilities, where everything is like LEDs and metal and glass. And for you, the dream was completely different. You wanted this kind of like experience where there are dogs, there are nature, you touch the food that you're gonna eat, you can play on the grass, you can like swim on the pool, and you also want to have at one point either chickens, we've talked about bees, we talked about other things that you could have in a way compound, So I think that the fascinating part was when you spend so much time inside a video game, you start losing the association that you have maybe with real things, and with nature.
Yeah.
And having the dichotomy, I thought it was really fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but mom and dad, they were definitely right in some sense, saying there's more to life than video games. Not that I remember them saying it, but like the saying of like, yeah, there is more to life. And I think video games taught me so much about life and stuff and whatever, but it is definitely a different world of competition. Here you can definitely walk away with 2 winners. Even though I eat the spinach, I still feel like the part of like all the life that grew and how you can keep growing like stuff and it actually gets bigger, and you take things from the ground and from the air, and you do feel like you're creating something. Very different from the rest of my life. Very different.
So when you moved to Lisbon, again, let's explain to people. So you first moved to Lisbon to an apartment, and then I moved in with you, and then you found the house. But the house is gonna take a little bit of time to finish. So we were living in the apartment. That's where we did the first bootcamp, the pink room. I love that apartment. That apartment was awesome. Was awesome.
It was good.
And then we moved
location.
into a house, and now I'm gonna be able to throw you under the bus. So Johan, this is his first house and his first home that he ever bought, and it was not ready for him to move in. But the day that they gave him the keys, he's like, "I'm moving there. I'm sleeping tonight there." You didn't have a bathroom. You didn't have water. You didn't have half of the things that you needed. Or maybe I'm just remembering this, in a way I romanticize the story.
I mean, it was cold nights. I had a bathroom, but I had to have an electric heater next to the bed, and sometimes two, because we moved in during right after my birthday. I think it was like October or November. I think it was early November. And
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, back to also what you were saying, like Sunflower House and how I wanted to, of course, move in right away and start getting ready. It's been a long time, like the dream of having a place to swim and a place for this and that, and also then being able to create a bootcamp facility that gives the experience that I cherish, and I think some people maybe cherish it more than others. Like, sure, I also don't mind like the pure bootcamp facility, raw squares, and you get into a room and the lighting is fixed in the ceiling and so on and so on. But I do think if you can create like the cottage vibe, like I have good memories going to cottages with school and like kind of getting like the campy vibes type deal that you're makes it feel more like an adventure as well. And this is kind of what I want to also create. And I think a few things that will always help is just a bit of sun and a bit of grass. Like you're already in a like good start. And then I think the architecture of the house, like having a house over a big building, is also a big plus for creating that feeling, environment, whatever.
Yeah.
I always walk away from that like nice adventure, home cooking, like in a home kitchen and like home chairs. I don't know. There's something to it.
It's always been very nice. And the moment that there's a little bit of sun, the moment that the game's finished, we're all outside, And before the games, we're all outside. And the truth is that we actually do a lot of sports that otherwise we wouldn't do, if we were just in another facility. Even though maybe we shouldn't, because we're awful at it. And every single time we play football, somebody gets injured. Yeah, it has happened to me twice.
I'm surprised it didn't happen more. Not to you, but like.
So I have an injured. I have an injured in my leg, in my right leg. I broke my ankle, and I think I'm 36. I'm like, I can play football. 3 minutes in, I'm like rolling like Cristiano Ronaldo, rolling around the ground. That's how long my football career lasted.
Yep, I have a busted ankle too now.
Dude, I'm surprised. Seb still surprises me.
Yeah, he's good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the thing about Seb is, I think because of the glasses and how nerdy I see him, I always think like, this is a nerd. But the guy can dance, and the guy can play football, and the guy can actually play sports. I'm surprised about him. How did you bust your ankle?
So it was, I think it's called wakeboarding, the one where you get dragged along the line. Then you have to board on water. And you just have to let go when you start getting pulled. If you do what I did, like, and don't let go, you yank your foot out of the bootstrap that you strapped, which is kind of like snowboard straps or whatever. And I yanked it out. I kind of messed up both, but only one. Like the left foot didn't take that much of a beating, but my right foot. Yeah, I'm still dealing with it. It's been like 6 months, and I'm 28, and I guess you can say also feeling like when I was younger, I could have walked it off in a couple of weeks, and then now
welcome to being an adult now. So this is one of the things I'm gonna say. Fucking Walter, if you're there, I'm on to you, buddy. So right before the bootcamp, I think it was for TI, I suddenly hear like we have a great idea of doing things, because when I was there, we went paddleboarding, and the paddleboarding was like, okay, you guys don't carry the paddleboard, you just have to go in there and try not to get hurt. And then cut to, I see videos with you with helmets, with this. So pretty much it's like a jet ski and you're behind it, but it's not a jet ski. It's like a cable around it, So that's pretty much what they do. And I was like, why would you do this, Walter? Right before TI, who are you trying to kill? But I guess this is what you guys needed. Some I don't know, burning.
But it was fun. It was fun.
I remember when we had Anna, we went paddleboarding together, but we haven't announced him yet. So we were trying to hide him in all the photos, and that was pretty funny. That day, dude, Seb pushed Tituan into the water, and Tituan was so mad with me, thinking it was me, and he chased me all around.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw you to the water. You blah 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 blah. I was like, dude, Tituan, it wasn't me. He was like, I know it's you. I was like, okay, sure. Now I have to thank it for Seb.
And he got away with it for so long, I remember. I don't think Tituan ever forgave him. That's fun.
I think it's just very funny, the relationship between you, Seb, and Tituan. I miss Tituan. We should bring him to the podcast one day. He's a fun dude.
No, for sure. For sure. It's amazing to have like the two French guys, and then they just, good
Dude,
times.
we have 5 French guys right now in Valorant, and the coach is French as well. You should see them just talking shit to each other the whole time. I have no idea what they're saying, but I know what some of the words mean, and I know what they're talking about or what they're telling each other. So I learned enough courses with Seb, you know, to know what they mean.
The language in esports, it's funny.
So if you think about any of the activities that you've ever done with OG or with any esports team during the bootcamp and all that, which one is, I think, is the best story you have for us? The Duranos in Malaysia, or?
That was fun. It was fun. But I would say that the durian is called it. So our old manager Oliver, he threw it out, I think, or somebody from who set it up threw it out right outside our bootcamp room, like in the bin. And then at the night, it had, it's really hot, really humid. It had just been fermenting in there, and you could start smelling it at the entrance every time you walked in and out. And it was like, it was pungent. It was like really bad. You just feel really bad every time you walk by. And then we complained and we had it removed, and yet the smell would stay there. The smell stayed for like 2-3 days, I think. So that durian experience was not my top 3, like because of that. But it was fun otherwise. I would probably say the hike actually that we had in Austria with Jesse, Anna. Like that. Like I would say, because it was an actual physically demanding day, like relative, right? But for most of us, I would even say, like for Tal and for me, like we definitely got winded, or could get winded doing that. But Anna, he had a really hard time that day. He had the wrong shoes. I don't think he ate breakfast, and like and he still persevered. He still pushed through, and like he almost gave up. Like we were hiking up a hill, but at the end he got to the top, and then we had baited him saying that there was a car up there that was going to drive us down. There was no car. There was never a car.
You guys are so evil.
And we had to do some more stuff up there. And
I'm glad that you guys.
But I would say it was good because
speak one to Anna.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like one of those days where I think people say Anna as an individual also pushed himself, which is always really good to see. And I think those days can be used always for stuff like this too, like push yourself a little bit.
Dude, I don't know how you did it, because when we went on Lisbon for a walk, the walk was like 40 minutes through the city. And by the time we came back and we did the debriefing, for me, the best thing of today was the walk. And for Saska and Mizguan was the worst thing of everybody was like, this is the worst thing that happened to me ever,
It was too long.
Think about the level of threshold, It was like, this is the worst thing that happened to me all week, that I went for a 45-minute walk in the city.
It's also stressful walking in Lisbon, like, or in any big city in general, unless you put your mind to it,
So I think that, I'll tell you, I think that the craziest thing that I've done on a team building like this, let me figure out. When I was in EG, we had all these challenges that we did, and it was so funny having to drag Dota players down. No one ever wanted to do anything. And it's never really felt that Dota players wanted to do content. It's been the big thing. And when I see like the people complaining why there are no more orgs signing Dota and all that, it's a very unique game, and there's so much prize pool, we go back to the same thing, that why would you do content? The amount of money or the amount of things that you can do by doing content does not match at all, what you can do with doing other things.
True, but I would say like most Dota players don't disagree with getting a salary. Far from it. Like I think Dota players would actually much rather accept the level of content as long as there's transparency with it, you know? And that's where at the end of the day most of the money comes from in like from Dota, like to the orgs, is sponsorships. And if you have a team that you're just transparent with them, you kind of let them in on the whole gist that, you know, we all want to do this because we're all making money from this. There's not going to be that much of a problem. But then I think there's been a lot of pushback over the years because of communication and not enough transparency and blah blah blah. But yeah, it's also there's also ways where content can be done nice, where probably Dota players also not fitting the category of people who care the most about their brand and about their brand like being something to carry them in the future. Like very few Dota players, I think, spend any time and give many cares. Most of them are just focused on TI and focused on performing, and it pushes everything else aside, like pushes everything in that direction, I should say.
Do you feel then that, because we have done a lot of content in OG. In OG, I would say that we are one of those teams that we do a lot of things. And I think that when we did, correct, the BMW episodes that we did were very good. And it's funny how I actually have to call Seb and said, hey, I need you to help me with this, you know? I promise that it's going to be worth it. And I called Sumail and I said, I know that you've been never willing, you know, to do this kind of content, but please do it for me, you know? And I think that the best thing that came out of those episodes, besides working with BMW and telling the story, is that I remember Sumail messaging me and saying, hey, thank you for pushing me on this one, you know? It's pretty awesome. And he said, I really love the ending, you know? Like, so it's not about the money. He's like, of course not, you know? Competing is fun, dude. That was a great
Competing
episode.
is fun. Content can be fun. Like I think I've always had so much fun on media days, and it always starts the same, where it's like the day can be dragging for us at a LAN event, like media days before we play, blah blah blah. It can feel like a chore easily, but instead, if you start the day right and you go into that media day the right way, it's shits and giggles. Like everybody's having a blast right away. You start making fun of each other. Everybody looking at the camera shot, like joking and poking, and then the rest of the day it can feel like a lot of fun, and you walk away already with a good start to the day, right? I think a lot of teams could already falter there, where they just, the small stuff.
So I would say that when I was with the Liquid guys, I did TI9 with Alliance, and with the guys that end up going to Liquid, Insania and all that. I really had a great time with them. They were a great group of guys, but it's always been this I would say this very thin equilibrium, you know, because you gotta perform at the end of the day on server, you know. So yes, of course, I think that the great mood and great vibe is fun, you know, and I think that they were having so much fun together being there, and you know, that was the famous gyrocopter pick that I was there when it happened, and then your whole thing just turns around. But I would agree with you that you gotta try to figure out the best, like the song, you know, best side of life. Like if you're gonna go to a media day and you have to do it, you can try to make something out of it or just be miserable doing it.
Yeah.
So how is for you the media days? Tell me, like, because you've been through so many of them. How many times you answer the same questions? You know, explain why you have nickname N0tail. Like, what is the question that you think they've asked you the most?
Might have something to do with like talent scouting, or I've also been asked a lot about my nickname. Yeah, I would say probably like some question about talent scouting. How did you find this player, or changing your nickname? Why? Yeah, that's like the two questions that pop up in mind. But yeah, media days. It's what you make it out to be. I would say there's some that are also easier to go through than others. There's a few crews, I guess, as well that you have to give a lot of credit, because they just also bring the energy. Like the last 2-3 TIs, it's been that for sure. Where the media day guys, they're so lit. Like in the morning, they're so fired up, they're so pumped up that you cannot walk away without having a smile on your face. It's that's really awesome. That makes it more than easy, right? They just make your day good. And then there are others where you just have to do it for yourself, if there's a language barrier or whatever, then your team still has to just make the most of it. And then it's all about the guys. And I would say almost all my media days has been good fun.
Remember the photographer from TI? Dude, he was amping up everybody that was there.
Exactly.
He was like, oh my God, you're amazing. You look fantastic. Oh, give me more. And you're like, yeah, I'm killing this,
I think it is a positive nuclear bomb. Yeah.
All right, so I want to get into a spicy topic right now. So this podcast will come out Tuesday next week.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing Alliance.
Yeah.
So this will come out on Tuesday 18th. We're playing Alliance this week.
Mm-hmm.
If we beat Alliance is relegated.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to go to Division 2 and try to fight from there? Do you think that they're going to try to buy another slot of one of the teams that is going to be going to Tier 1 and then just sponsor that team?
Is that a play? I don't even know if that's a play. I guess that might be a play. But shoot, wow.
I mean, the play could be like drop your whole talent, You drop your whole and then you pick up Tickles. Think about it.
Has it been announced who their new support is?
I have no idea. So from what we know right now, we think that at today that we're filming this, there is going to be at least one roster change. Right now, even before the league finishes. I think it's Hatsken, right? It's not going to be playing. Either he's not going to be captain or he's not going to be playing at all.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, people will know because this comes out after.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Just have to ban Witch Doctor.
Okay. I guess people will know then because I never thought that Witch Doctor should be the bannable hero, but he's a Witch Doctor spammer.
Yeah.
And dude, Liquid lost to Enigma.
Yeah.
So now this whole thing is getting quite interesting at the end.
Spicy. Mm-hmm. We get spicy.
Yeah. How do you think it's gonna end up? What is your predictions? Because this probably will come out after.
I think my spinach will be about like 10 centimeters long. Yeah. No, dude, I don't care, man. I don't care about the
You're
result.
done.
I'm just taking one game at a time, and I also for me and for the guys, I think I'm just gonna look long-sighted. So if there's a long road to the major still, and if you make it to the major, you get the LAN practice. It's worth fighting for. That's gonna be great, but yeah, it's not good for my heart. It's not good for my mental thing to try and predict the end result of all this. Like I'm just taking each thing with a smile. If Alliance get relegated, we'll take it one game at a time, one series at a time.
So then I have a more complicated thought. Okay. Do you think there's gonna be a major?
Oh, if it's gonna be like an offline event at all?
Yeah.
How would they do it then? What would they do? Because it's across the regions.
I don't think so. I don't know. We haven't heard anything from anybody from Valve, and we're 1 month away. People have to start filing for paperwork.
Yeah, I was asking today. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Snoop Dogg concert also got moved in Copenhagen. Shoot.
Really?
Yeah. So Corona is beating everybody, beating me to the ground.
The Super Bowl this year is supposed to be in LA. We'll see if that actually happens.
Yeah, a new world record, right, for COVID in the US as well. 1.3 million one day.
USA. Dude, there's like some, we have to be number one.
Number one.
Everybody.
Number one.
Okay, I want to publicly say this to shame Johan. So I have a Spanish and I'm American. And every morning I wake up to Johan series of links with anything that is making fun of Americans. It's like our inside joke.
It is so
It's
easy.
just like, look, a new one. Oh, look.
It's French people for their accent and for their English, and then it's like Americans for all this stuff that just gets recorded, like Americans being crazy. Yeah.
Oh, look, a fight at Applebee's, lady fights the counter lady register because they have no...
Take them off. And it's like all the anti-mask and all the yeah. So I don't know if there's going to be a major, dude. It's a good question. Now that you're putting it in like those terms, like a month, it's not a long time to take care of all the logistics, and especially with COVID and like hosting an event, I guess you'd want months.
But the Chinese team should know about it.
Yeah.
Teams like us, that have a Jordanian 16-year-old need to know about it.
Yeah.
And we haven't heard anything. We don't know where at all. Like there is a specific things that needs to be already taken care of, and we haven't heard anything from anybody.
Maybe we should invite someone from Valve to this podcast next week. The week after.
You want to try?
I'll shoot a message. Yeah.
Sure. I hope you get more response than I get from Valve.
I'll ask on Twitter.
I'll tell more stories. I found out that there was no audience on TI at 2 a.m. in the morning when we were leaving to TI in the morning at 6. And I got on a plane and I spent 2 weeks and a half by myself in a hotel because I couldn't be where you guys were. There was people that found out that there was no audience when they were already there and when they were flying there. And there was only 8 people or 8 people that were allowed to be with the team. So I flew there without being able to be with the team. Tituan was there also and ended up going to France.
Yeah, he flew with us to our connection. He flew straight to France from there after we found out. Yeah.
And we had like 2,000 or 3,000 pieces of merch already in transit to Romania that we have to wait until Romania, pack it again, and send it back to the warehouse. Because we had this incredible activation that we wanted to do during TI. But the funny thing about it is that we literally found that night, we found like everybody else. We don't really have any kind of like inside connection.
And there were people who had traveled all the way from Brazil.
Yep.
Oh my God. And
I have a story that I don't know if we should tell, but I'm going to go ahead and tell it. So Micke was with us. So let's talk about the Micke and Seb story. Okay. So Seb suddenly messages me and tells me that he's going to have surgery with the eye and that he's flying to Paris. And obviously you, me, and him were all devastated and all crying over the phone. It was a big blow. But Seb was like, just let me go there, like stay optimistic. So we started looking for a replacement. We called Micke, we talked to Liquid, and we're like, Micke, you gotta get on a plane tonight. And he was like, I need to go in the morning. I said, okay, gotta get on a plane in the morning, So he was there, and we honestly thought that he was gonna be playing. I'm gonna be honest, I thought that
I think everybody
Micke was gonna be playing.
I would have put my money on it. Because Seb had one eye surgery before, and the recovery time was a lot longer than what it was now the second time around. Whether or not it was the right amount of food and tea and stuff after the surgery, or if the surgery was also done better, like whatever it was, he recovered a lot quicker. But I think everybody their minds were set on what was happening with Micke, right? Like the chances were really, like in my mind, I would say realistic also meant that the chance was low for Seb, but yeah, God bless. Like he recovered in time.
Seb didn't say that he was coming until the morning that we were actually leaving, I think, right?
Yeah.
So we were all waking up, we were all going to the airport. So I flew by myself there, and Micke was coming, and Seb said, I'm going. I'll be there tomorrow. We were like, what? So we sat down, we talked to Micke. Micke obviously was a super gentleman, He said, whatever you guys need. Obviously, I understand that this is Seb's dream. But now the tricky part happens. So we had 2 flight tickets for Micke.
Oh no.
Because we had one to Romania.
Oh no.
And then we have one for him to go back home. But by the time he went to the airport, he checked in on the wrong one. I'm going to take responsibility. We checked him in on the wrong one. And then he actually went to Bucharest instead of going home. So Micke went to Bucharest, slept in the hotel next to the airport, and then flew back.
We had a connection flight too, right?
Yeah, he went all the way with you guys. Because I arrived to Bucharest, remember?
He went all the way because...
So I arrived to Bucharest 1 hour before you guys. And I just sat on the airport waiting for you. And then I was like, what is Micke doing here? And you were like, well, wait, we have a story for you. He got the wrong flight.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, I've done silly things too. Tell you a story about my time in LA once.
Okay.
So I was only like 21 or 22. And it was like LAX airport. I'm supposed to take a direct flight to Copenhagen. And I get there, I think it was beyond the summit or something else. The checkout time was early, and I was like, all right, I'll just go to the airport early, get some food, do some shopping. All right. I get there 8 hours, I think, early, or 9. So it was a very big airport. I think I hadn't been there many times, like maybe twice or whatever. And I just asked someone, where should I go for my flight? And I get directed somewhere, and I get lost again. I ask another person, where should I go for my flight? Like, they're all pointing me in the same direction, and I get there, and it's this little terminal. It didn't really feel right, and now, of course, it makes more like international terminals, especially in big airports, are way bigger. I would have now made sense of that back then. I was too dumb to make sense of that, so I waited there for 8 hours and missed my flight. I realized 30 minutes before departure, like 20 minutes before departure, but I was so far away, and I was running through the whole airport. The guy at the counter threw his hands up when I got there, because they've been calling him my name, I'm sure. And apparently it wasn't the first time it happened. They have been guiding people to the wrong place, like on this flight, SAS to Copenhagen, for some reason, to that part of the airport, like to that little terminal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the first time it happened. So I got rebooked and blah, blah, blah.
When was this? Do you remember the year?
And I think I was no older than 22, I want to say.
So the thing is, on the Tom Bradley, on the international terminal, all the flights that are going, they're in a satellite terminal. So you actually have to go on a train and get to the other place. So it's actually 20 minutes from one place to the other one. So if you don't start making your way there, you're not making the flight.
Yeah.
So when you get to the other place, there's actually no restaurants there. So everybody's on the restaurants on this side, So I can imagine how everybody has gone through the same point that you.
That time's waiting 8 hours for a flight and then missing it. Oh boy, that hurt. That made me feel really stupid for a while.
Talking about travel adventures, this year, the airlines have broke 4 of my luggages. The last one that I got after I went from Lisbon, they literally had to tape the luggage because I guess they exploded. They threw it and they exploded. So I found my luggage just sellotape with all the clothes hanging out from the outside. 4 luggages they broke this year. Dude, when I was in Copenhagen, your dad had to take me to a luggage store to help me get a luggage because they broke mine.
Wow.
So everywhere I go, it's been an ongoing theme. Yeah.
You have a fuck the airport staff sticker on there or something?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
No. So, okay, another funny story about what I was saying is I actually have gone to Copenhagen without you, but with your dad there. And I spent the week with your dad. At this point, it's our dad. Just so you know.
Our dad. Okay.
Yeah. I'm the adopted dark sheep of a family. All you guys are blonde, and I am not blonde.
Second one.
During TI9, I have a story for you. TI9 in Shanghai. I drove one night to meet a friend. Well, I took an Uber to meet a friend. And on my way back, the Uber driver suddenly starts slowing down in the middle of a freeway.
I think you told me the story. Yeah.
This is just crazy. And then I look to the rear view mirror and I see the guy. And I was like, hey, in total English, like an American. Hey, what is going on? And he's like, sorry, drinking. And I was like, what? So I stopped the car. Well, he stopped the car. I went to the passenger seat. I said, get out of the car. He sat down on the co-pilot seat, slept, and then I drove myself home.
Yeah.
During TI9. I drove myself to the hotel.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of closest to death, I probably was also in a taxi in China. Yeah. So it was road raging. I think I was in the cab with Anna. I think it was me, Anna, and maybe yes, I'm not sure. And the dude, he has beef with the guy next to us. And there's, these Chinese cabs where they're protected with plastic and whatever. And they get into it over something. I don't know, somebody cut one off. And then they get out to the red light and they're just yelling. And then they keep trying to brake check the other one. And they keep overtaking and doing it to each other. And we're telling the guy, stop, let's get out, whatever. I even think we're cursing at him in Chinese, just because we think, okay, this could be it. But yeah, then one dude takes the left, and I think the other guy took the left and left the battle. But probably closest I have been to actual death, but I don't know.
Well, I would say if you're gonna tell a story of death, near death experience, you have to talk about Epicenter. That was the real near death experience.
That too.
I think we talked about it several times, right? We talked about it in the other podcast. But pretty much during the Epicenter, you got really, really sick, end up in a Russian hospital, and TI10 beat Secret.
Yeah, TI10 beat
let
Secret.
It be there, you know?
Yeah, and DG.
Just TI10 by himself, okay? The Jakiro just beat everybody.
Jacques and Jacques. I still never forget the pose, like, oof, TI10 pose.
What is the TI10 pose? I haven't seen this one. What is it?
He gets off the chair, I think, after Secret, and it's like he did nothing, and I think he's calling it on TeamSpeak. I think that's what he said. He just gets off the chair like, I carried you, I did nothing, and you still won. I killed it.
Did you end up making it to the finals or anything? Or you were just the whole time in the hospital?
No, I went to the party though. Like the last day, I really bounced back fast. Okay. Like I got back early the day before the last day, I think. Couldn't eat much, and then ate like an ice cube to begin with. Had a little bit to eat, and then by evening I was eating like a full meal, and then the next day I had like double dinner. Okay. Just started devouring everything. I felt like 100 out of 10.
I think about the stories from China. I have a lot of stories from TI. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of them we should talk about, but I'm gonna go for another one. So the hotel that we were in, they have on the left side, they have like the bus stop. Okay, so that's where the buses will drive us. And the moment that you get out of the bus, there were always ladies of the night. Let's just say. And we will be going with our families from the bus to the very nice hotel.
Oh, no.
And there were ladies of the night saying, "Hi, pretty. Hi, how are you?" And there was an ATM right at the door. That was the ATM outside. You really couldn't go to that ATM without being stalked by them. And the fans found out how to get into the hotel because in order to go from one building to another building, you have to go to level 2. And level 2 will cross to the parking lot where we will go to the bus. So they found out how to get into the hotel, and that's where they will wait for us. So we will have to go all around to avoid them. But dude, there were so many crazy stories about that. It was actually the first TI where players cannot really go with the general population. Like if it's a prison, you know? You couldn't go to general admission.
But it was wild. I remember that. Like it was wild. Like I was having breakfast one morning and I walk in and Jesse has already finished his, I think. And I just see two girls with a phone up, like recording him 1.5 meters away from him. And it was so weird.
Well, he was eating.
It's like a horror movie scene, you know? It's like this creepy, yeah. And I just walk up to Jesse like, "Yo, dude, you know these? Like, you know these girls?" And he looks up like he had no idea what was going on. I think he was checking his phone. No, he had no idea. It was...
So the thing is that the hotel is an incredible hotel. It's one of the best hotels in Shanghai. But it's so big that TI couldn't really book the whole hotels because there are 2 towers. Yeah. So they only booked, I think it was like from level 5 to 10 in one of the buildings. And then the other one was the talent and casters. And it was the other part. So there's normal people. But think about it. People that came to TI were staying in the same hotel that we were staying. So we will see each other on the corridor and we will see each other on the on the restaurants. So yeah, you will be eating and then they will be looking at you on the phone like that. I was like, okay, this is weird. It was really funny. Remember, dude, there was like this Lebanese kebab place. It was amazing. I ate that every day during the whole duration of TI.
Yeah. They had like the 5 corners of the world type buffet where it was very authentic and fresh made, and like you could have all these different sorts. And yeah, the Lebanese station, oh my god, the tabbouleh was so good, so refreshing. Oof. Now I want tabbouleh.
I remember I saw you on day 1 and I was like, "Dude, Johan, I haven't seen you in a year. What's up, buddy?" And you were like fresh as a cucumber. You said, "Nah, here again. When I win in again." And I was like thinking, what a dork, you know? I thought about it, what a dork. Like, yeah, sure. You fluke once and you're gonna fluke it again. And you were like, no, this is happening. I'm like, okay.
So when we went there, like it had been a really rough bootcamp and whatever, but we felt really refreshed getting in and we had really good talks and yeah, like the bootcamp and all the timings that happened made everything so super rough, but it also made us come together and be there for each other and really like made us a team. And I don't think we felt any fear or anything bad once we went in, even though we had 2 days of scrims versus Navi where that also just went to complete shit. It's kind of hard to like be real about, that you're going to own this stuff, but we really, I think everybody felt it. At least I felt it, that there was no problem, that we had more than the full potential to mess them all up. Like everybody knew the game, everybody knew everything that they had to know. For whatever reason, it wasn't clicking in those games, but still there was no worry at the end, which was really crazy for that TI. But then I met Gabe Newell in the elevator, and he also asked, like, so you're going to do it again? Yeah, I had to say yes, of course. But yeah, that was all he said. That was I think my second interaction with Gabe Newell ever, and that was it.
And then that's the week that I pee next to your dad. And then this is also the week after you won. I think that this is one of the things that I wish Spirit had, because going to the after party as the winner, it is a great memory, I am sure. So the after party that we had like an outside area where all the teams are finding. When we say finding, it's like they're all trying to figure out who they're going to play with next year.
Yeah, you see all the potential teammates like talking to each other.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you see Boba talking to someone and Sumel was talking to someone else, yada, yada, yada. And then we have another dance floor and karaoke where it's just mostly talent and people like me or that I don't care about having teams because we're not there. So we were like mostly dancing. And I think I met also BSJ girlfriend was there. She was very nice. And I was with him, with Brian. And I don't know if it was Matumba Man's girlfriend that he was taking to me. I don't remember if it was that tournament or another one. Because obviously Matumba Man's girlfriend was the one that did the makeup. Remember that Matumba Man did like a female streaming for a few days where he was wearing like Matumba Woman? So she was there. And then the other part is like you had a private room, a circular room, I remember, with windows on one side and mirrors on the other one. And that's where you guys were there. And you guys were being rushed by everybody. I remember I just came there, gave you a hug, and I told you, like, dude, we'll meet another day, Right now is your night and enjoy it. And you were like you were like in a bubble. You were like gone.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was falling asleep. Like as much as I would have loved both TI after parties to be amazing, like TI8, I guess there's a little buzz from the alcohol and from the drinks that we had that kept it going for a little bit longer. But I think I was in bed before midnight, both of them, or around midnight, like latest. I couldn't stay up. I was falling asleep to the late dinner we had, TI9. My head was just nodding off, and I went to the party. I stayed for 20 minutes. Even though I would have loved to stay all night, I was collapsing. My whole body was shutting down. So I just slept. And every time it's the same story. Like I wake up that next morning, I have some food, I go to bed. Like I will just stay in bed the whole day. I'll stay in bed the next day. Like just get up to move around a bit, and I am just exhausted, completely dead. And it feels good. It still feels satisfying, but definitely need some time to fresh, because I think the adrenaline, I think the body just pushes through, it takes care of whatever it needs to take care of, so you just keep going. And at the end of it, it just like gives up. Like it takes everything that it's been using, and yeah. So not the best after parties, but still fun. Of course. How do I feel? Yeah, it feels amazing. Of course, it's a euphoria. It's a lot of like a very incredible sustained euphoria where you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish, and you have every reason to feel good. But it's funny in a way, because this is all things you are just telling yourself. Like for me, at least, it's mostly the inner debate. It's not the recognition from the people. Maybe it just goes to say like, you did something great, but it is like, that you did something great. That feels crazy good, like a real true form of euphoria. Yeah.
You've been also lucky that you've been sharing with, like, OG has a lot of family with us every single time we go somewhere. Like our parents in a way are very, very involved, and this was my mom's first TI, and we created a WhatsApp group with your parents, Tituan's parents, Seb's parents, my parents, and there was like a bunch of parents just there. And during the games, they were like, okay, what my dad was like always obsessed with this orange dragon, Snapfire. And it was like, what is this Snapfire doing? What is this orange dragon? And you could see Tituan's dad trying to explain my dad what that guy is supposed to be doing. Like you have all these, like my dad just suddenly had an awakening. He was like, dude, I wish I had discovered this many years ago, And Seb's dad is a chess player. He was like, I wish I had discovered this earlier. And your dad doesn't miss a game. Dude, your dad is the one that I am texting with in the middle of the night when you're playing.
He's my Dota pro tracker.
He's like, we have our own Twitch chat going on.
Yeah.
But your dad watches the Dota games, watches the Valorant games, and watches the CSGO games. Like, your dad and I talk all the time about games. He's really, really involved and wants to know and asks me, so what is going on with this roster? You know, what is going with this player? And yeah, like, we have a lot of the parents involved.
That's what makes it, right? That's what makes the whole sport, gaming, human competition what it is. It's like the hype, the interest. It's like people being interested. So I think it's great. Like, yeah, your dad getting explained the video game and getting hyped and getting excited about it, I think is what it's all about.
For me, my parents is, even though I'm not playing, I think that the TI9 roster, I lived that roster, you know. I lived with you with that roster. So in many ways, I was part of a team, especially when Anna was there and when Micke was there, because those are the two parts that I lived full time with you guys. And yeah, like, we lived that one together. And it felt like a big part of me was on the team. This one a little bit less, you know, because we've really been giving them a lot of space for them to figure out themselves. And Misha has been doing a good job. So the fact that I never met them in person, you know, yet, still maybe that's why, you know, because with Saska and you and Midwand, we lived, and Topias, we lived together for 4 months last year.
Yeah, and it's hard to not get, you know, closer to people. And especially, I think for me, it's very hard to not get like very attached and close to people you yeah, if you commit, you know, if you commit to something together, it's like you have to open up to each other, and then yeah, which is part of the game, part of like the whole scheme. You want to find the right people, and you want to get attached, but then, you know, all good things also come to an end. Usually is what goes. Yeah, turns out I think only Sebastian is the only guy I've played with and never stopped playing with, huh? And when I have taken a break now, he's taken a break too, so that streak may continue. Let's see.
You think Sebastian is taking a break? Or he's taking a... Who knows? He said he's retired, like, so we're going to let him
like, if there's going to be a TI, like TI18, and we're going to show up, you know, start getting gray hairs and stuff, and yeah, who knows? The real old parts will come back.
Okay, so to finish the podcast, we have 5 minutes, Johan. Let's figure out, give me something juicy, something extremely fun that you have not shared, that is either a very interesting topic. I have a few of them, but I can't throw you out of the bus. I need you to jump out of the bus yourself, or to throw someone else out of the bus. I can't throw you out.
I'm trying really hard to throw nobody under the bus right now. I'm trying really hard.
Someone's gonna do it.
I can talk about Seb's hip-hop dancing, how I found out.
I was thinking about that. Dude, he can dance. He can really dance.
The dude can dance. Yeah. No, it's like, I think we had, this was Epicenter, second Epicenter, and I don't know how long we had been on same team, but it had been over, like, I think it'd been close to 2 years after you joined OG. We go to an Epicenter, and I don't think I've been to many after parties with him where we like went out and stayed out and had drinks, but tonight was the night, and we were gonna have some fun, and we were gonna keep up with each other. Like, he has a drink, I have a drink, I have a drink, he has a drink, and I'm like, you know, we gotta dance tonight. And I convinced him. I finally convinced him. It was 2 years. I haven't seen him dance, and I just expect something very mediocre. And then the dude like just goes crazy with his feet. I look at them like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, you haven't given the slightest clue. You haven't said anything. Like, there was nothing that gave this away. And I'm gonna look like a dumbass all night if I dance next to you. So I asked him, like, what's going on here? He's like, oh yeah. Before Dota, I did 8 years of hip hop dancing. Yeah, it was kind of my life. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
He was the champion of Lebanon.
Yeah. No, I can believe it. Like, after seeing it, so yeah, it just goes to show, like, you never truly know people. Like,
he told me, with them, you know how obsessed I am with Dota right now, how much I put my mind into it. I used to do exactly like this for dancing. I used to have a mirror in my room where I would be practicing and dancing. He's like, my life was dancing. I've only saw him dancing once this year when we went out for dinner. Suddenly they start boosting and there's like doing the and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I've seen it done plenty of times ever since, but I think he was shy, to reveal his hidden talent.
Yeah. Okay, so one more minute, one more story. What else do I have for people?
I mean, speaking of dancing, I guess like when we were there at the CI and we were doing the prep for the stage, because of the COVID rules, it was like one team at a time. So we're all standing in this big football field. So he's teaching me how to shuffle.
Seb knows how to shuffle?
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. So I just put it up here. Yeah. If you're gonna, this is like advanced tactics, right?
So Seb can do this.
So Seb, he could do all this. Yeah. I think he could do all this, no problem. Like when he starts moving his feet, like you haven't seen it before, it's like it's so crazy. These are all advanced tactics. I'm trying to find like a simple shovel. Okay, so without moving the feet side to side, that's what he was trying to teach me, right? Like, and so I'm going at it. I'm starting to get the hang of it, and I think we're doing it for like 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden we look to the side and PSG LGD, they're copying. I think it was Innocence and Faith Dion. They were trying to shuffle as well because they were just observing. And I like that. There's always been like a mutual respect, I want to say, between X-Wings players and us and whatever, and LGD. Yeah, it was just we inspired the dance too, I guess. We were having a lot of fun. Like we were having so much fun because we had to wait like 45 minutes, an hour out there. So I got some shuffling skills going that day, and yeah, it spread. That was good. It was cool.
I can imagine the captain saying, "OG shuffling. You shuffle. This is how you win. This is how we win. You shuffle. They shuffle. You shuffle." Oh my god. Well, I don't have any knowledge on how to shuffle, but maybe for the next episode, we'll do a play-by-play on the shuffling.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna end up the podcast. It's another hour with Johan and Jay. Hope you guys enjoy this. Please leave comments and topics if you want to. We have also a Discord channel that we are opening, and the idea is that we also want to have this podcast with us, just him and me. And then we're going to have a few other ones where we invite new guests. And then we're going to have another one that is called like Redline, I think. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to go to Discord and we're going to be talking to fans directly while doing the podcast. So we get questions for them and we can answer them with them. And we will not be doing that at least for, let's say, 10 episodes because we wanted to get a hang on this and learn how to do this episode ourselves. But I think that would be really fun, We really believe in this product that is the show, and we have been wanting to grow it into something really cool. So please stay with us, give us feedback, and if you guys continue to like it, we will continue to make them, Well, I think we will get better with time because it's still a little bit awkward for me because it's not awkward talking to you. Obviously, we talk all day, but we not really talk in front of people, So a lot of the private conversations now we have it in front of people, so I think we'll get a little bit used to it. For you, how is it to record this?
Oh, it's good. Getting more liberal, but I guess as time goes on with what I'll say, and pray to God that all the edits will save me from getting cancelled or from people getting thrown under the bus mistakenly. Yeah, we hope so. Bismillah, you never know. But it's been fun so far. It's good reminiscing. It's good thinking about things in the sphere. It's also just not yourself. I think once we also get some more guests on, it's going to be a nice addition, to have.
Yeah.
Both once we get to know each other more and talk through many things, and we get more people on, I think it's going to be nice. Hopefully,
Seb should be the first one.
Yeah.
We need to bring Seb. Yeah. Maybe if people are very lucky, we will get them to watch a game of OG with us. With you two trolls. Dude, this is actually the one thing that I wanted to share, everybody, because we watched some of the games together and I don't say anything. I just hear both of you just talking Dota with each other. It's like, oh, look at this, they're gonna do this, what do you think about this? I was like, dude, I wish I could bottle this and make money out of this, and show it to the rest of the world. One of the times I had Kevin with me in the house and he was just like this, mind blown about what you guys were talking. So super fun. Maybe one day.
I wish one day that they fixed Nigma or like the old Liquid, like when Nigma were Liquid, like the replays with the map and everything. if they fix those and we could cast them or like watch them again, those games are so much fun. Those games were like definitely cast worthy, like some crazy ass games, you know, full of emotion, full of anger, full of like frustration and like fuck you-ness. Those were some really good scrims that we had, but nobody else has seen them.
So the scrims, not the finals.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the finals
the
will have them.
Yeah. No. I'm talking about the TI8, like pre-TI8. I would say all the games from like 2017 to 2019, almost all the scrims we've had are like.
Can we get them through the client?
Yeah, but I think the map is all bugged. I think it's like it's not going to be a good viewing experience when you download those old replays. If there was a way, it would be fun.
Okay, well, Michael, the podcast producer that is there, this is your new mission if you choose to accept. Besides that, thank you, everybody. We're going to cut it off. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Johan. And I'll see you guys soon. Have a great day.